Hey guys, welcome back to News for the Sonics, where we discuss comics, movies, games, and more. Here to talk to you about some really interesting news about the upcoming Spider-Man across the universe. And if you haven't heard already, the Spot's going to be the main villain of this film. The most random villain you could ever think of that would be picked for a Spider-Man movie. Personally, I think the Spot is one of the most overlooked, underrated villains ever because I think for his abilities, he's a really cool villain. And for this film's narrative, it would seem that this character probably fits the best. And I cannot wait to see what the Spot will bring to Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I mean, you gotta admit, he's the perfect villain for this kind of movie. And I think we're gonna be getting a really nice origin story. Not only that, but it's gonna open up doors for the Spot to get a bit of more shine in the comics too. And I can see it right now. I'm telling you, once this movie comes out, the Spot's numbers are only gonna go up. So anyways, before I get started, be sure to like, subscribe, and click on the bell notifications so y'all don't miss anything. We do a lot of Marvel stuff here on the channel, mainly Spider-Man stuff. So if that stuff is for you, definitely be sure to subscribe. It really supports the channel. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and read the article here from Superhero Hype. Now, Jason Schwartzman is the Spot in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And I'm not exactly familiar with this actor. Whoever succeeds the Kingpin as the main villain of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse has some big shoes to fill. But it looks like the filmmakers chose an adversary whose own superhuman abilities threaten the stability of the multiverse itself. During the first day of this year's Annecy International Animation Film Festival, directors Joaquim Dos Santos, Ken Powers, and Justin K. Thompson screened new footage from the highly anticipated sequel. They also confirmed that the film will mark the big screen debut of the Spot, voiced by Jason Schwartzman. The Spot made his appearance in the Spectacular Spider-Man number 98 in 1985. He began as a scientist Jonathan Owen, hired by the Kingpin to recreate Cloak's teleportation powers. While entering a portal of his own creation, Owen's body transformed. It fused with a number of smaller portals that he could use to travel long distances and even reach alternate dimensions. Now, I'm sorry if you hear a dog barking, but there is a loud dog right outside. But anyways, of course, Owen's powers also make him difficult to engage in combat, as demonstrated by an early image of the character in the sequel. The photo shows Miles Shamik Moore trying to land a kick to the villain's chest. Unfortunately, this plan backfires, and thanks to one of the Spot's portals, the blow instead hits Miles' partner and love interest, Gwen Stacy Haley Steinfeld. You can check it out for yourself here, and this is the tweet right here. So let's go ahead and get a closer look at the image here. So I'm pulling up the tweet. Meet the Spot, Miles Morales' most formidable foe yet, voiced by Jason Schwartzman. See him in action in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse exclusively in movie theaters June 2nd, 2023. I'm going to go ahead and give it a like right there. And this is really exciting. I mean, I've always wondered what the Spot has been up to. The guy has never really gotten so much shine. I think he's a very underrated villain. And I think his powers are pretty cool, no matter how silly he may appear, you know, as far as like his costume. But it's a very unique design, and it's very simplistic if you really think about it. And I think the Spot is just one of those villains that could definitely overpower his opponents and a worthy adversary, especially for Spider-Man. So Sony's Spider-Verse 3 is now called Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, and that's another thing I wanted to let you know, because before it was actually called Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 and Part 2, but I think it makes more sense to give it a different subtitle because it just seems a little bit confusing. When you think about Part 1, you would think it's actually the first in a series, and I can see why they changed it because it's so confusing, where Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is the first film, and then we have Across and then Beyond. So it's better to have those kind of different subtitles so that way nobody gets confused. During the presentation, Powers acknowledged that the Spot is one of the deepest cuts in Spider-Man's rogues gallery. The character only appeared on screen twice in the last 40 years, once in the episode of 90s Spider-Man cartoon. If you guys ever recall, if you ever saw the 90s animated series, that character only appeared a couple times in that series, which was, again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier, a totally underused character, and more recently in an episode of Disney XD's own Spider-Man series. So his role in Across the Spider-Verse comes as a major upgrade. Plus, his abilities allowed the animators to play around with his design. His appearance will also even evolve throughout the film as he learns to better control his powers. We thought it would be really cool if the portals felt like living ink that had spilled or splattered on the comic artist's drawing, said Powers. His very simple power provided endless exciting challenges and permutations for our team. So I'm pretty sure it would have like that Rorschach ability. I don't know if you ever saw The Watchmen, but Rorschach's mask actually moved. So I'm pretty sure his costume, his spots will move everywhere if you look at him. And I think that's kind of like the evolution that they're talking about here. If they do that, it'll definitely be a serious upgrade for that character. So are you excited to see Miles Morales and his allies tangle with the Spot? You let me know down in the comment section below. And that's pretty much it for tonight. I mean, this is really exciting. This is one of those things where I didn't really see coming. I didn't really think that the Spot would ever be featured in any future Spider-Man production ever. But the Spot is just one of those villains that you just don't even really like think about. You really mainly think about the rogues galleries, like, you know, Rhino, Scorpion, Vulture, Green Goblin, Venom, those popular rogues galleries that appear frequently in the comics and other productions like the movies. And I actually makes me wonder if like the Spot would even make its way to a DLC in a future Marvel Spider-Man sequel, like Marvel Spider-Man 2 or maybe even Marvel Spider-Man 3. But the Spot definitely should be, you know, heavily featured in future productions and comics after this movie comes out, and I can totally see it coming. And I think it's going to provide an opportunity for Marvel to create new origin stories for the Spot. But anyways, I'm pretty excited for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. You let me know if you're excited as well by commenting down below. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on the bell notification so you all don't miss anything. If you would like to help support the channel, you could definitely do so by super thanking me, clicking on the super thanks icon, which is the little heart symbol with the $ in the center. Definitely helps out the channel if you submit a donation. You can donate anywhere from $2 to $100, whatever it is that you want to donate. It'll definitely help the channel. Aside from that, your viewership and subscription also helps the channel out. And I'll see you all in the next comic panel.